Please welcome Colman Domingo. They love it. Did you feel, even in that clip, we show a 13-second clip, and there's a beat, and the audience is silent, and the teardrops. That's some top-notch action right there, Colman Domingo.
Thank you so much.
You are feeling in that moment.
Oh, man, thank you so much. It's a beautiful film. It's a film about the power of art, and when you pour it into a human being, what blossoms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It's gorgeous. I wish you could just bottle like the joy and the hope that's in this film and just pass it out to everybody here right now.
You're all going to get as gifts.
Oh, great.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's great. That's great.
You're going to get one, and you're going to get one, and you're going to get one. Exactly.
There's a little bit of joy underneath all your seats. It is a beautiful story. The transformative power of art. Did you have a moment for you as somebody who's been in the arts, on stage, in front of the camera? What do you think of when you think back on that?
You know, listen, I was a very shy kid and just a nerd, and I just felt like, unpopular. And honestly, the moment I took a theater class, and it sounds so silly in a way, but I took a theater class. Yeah. And I felt like I came alive because I started to put myself in someone else's shoes and become other characters. And I really felt like I had a voice. And literally, I think my voice dropped into a deeper place. Yeah. And usually, even when I teach acting, every so often I would teach acting, I teach people more than anything to have a voice. I think that's the most important thing that you get out of learning theater, in every single way. So that's the gift that I was given. Yeah. And that's what I like to share with other people. And that's why this film is very important to me, because I feel like it's just about finding your voice, finding that you have feelings, you can name them, and you can actually place them. And actually, it does some really good work in our film. It's based on a rehabilitation of the arts program at Sing Sing Prison, where these inmates were doing theater. And then they really gained some skills that they didn't know that they even needed. And so much so that it just transformed their lives. Yeah.
And a lot of the... Many of the actors in the film were a part of this program, were formerly incarcerated.
90% of our cast are formerly incarcerated men.
Is that right? 90%? It's remarkable. What is it like? What is it like collaborating with folks who are formerly incarcerated compared to Hollywood Nepo babies? Were you just relieved to be like, oh, there's no Nepo babies on the call sheet today?
Thank God, finally. But you know what's kind of cool is that these guys had the lived experience of going through this, but also they were trained while they were on the inside. So I was working with actors, people who had training and had respect for Shakespeare, and we were just doing the work together. So we sat at the table and we just collaborated in a very gentle way. Now these guys, a lot of guys were in prison maybe 20 years, 25 years. And so, but I love, it's a little subversive because when you see the film, you don't know really. Well, now you know because I told you. But you don't know really still because it feels like a documentary in some way, but then you realize that people are playing versions of themselves when they were in the inside. Right. It's really incredible.
When you're even working with one of your close friends who you're sort of paired with within the film, Clarence, you have scenes where you're actually working about going over lines and what have you, which in some ways is almost meta as to the things that you were doing off camera.
All of it is so meta because a lot of these guys actually were, we filmed in 2 decommissioned prisons in upstate New York. And a lot of guys passed through those prisons. Downstate is one of those prisons that everyone sort of lands at, and then they're spread out throughout New York. But a lot of guys were like Clarence Macklin Jr. Literally, he said we were filming one scene, and he knew, oh no, there was a cell that I was in before. So it had that meta, but also had a meta quality that my best friend Sean San Jose is actually my best friend.
Is that right?
Actually, exactly. I've known him for 30 years. He's another professional actor that I know from San Francisco. So there is the meta of that's why I think it feels like a documentary because there's something really real happening. Yeah. And I feel like, there's no real, the only agenda is looking into a person's humanity and filling it with art and hope. That's the agenda of the film.
Yeah, you know what I found really remarkable? It's such a lovely film. It feels so if the right word, it feels insular in that, like, I've seen many films that take place inside a prison that have so many external plots that act on these characters.
Yeah.
And I think this movie lives so much within the characters. And there's a world that exists outside of it and consequences that exist within the prison itself, but it really sits with people kind of dealing with their own emotions and how they connect with one
Which is so rare, because usually anytime you see a prison drama or something, it's all these tropes that you usually see. It's violence, it's a horror story. Now, I'm not going to say it's not a horror story, but inside there are other people in there, people who are like trying to advocate for others, who are in the law library, trying to advocate for good food or make sure their fellow inmate is ready for their parole board hearing, or starting theater programs, or gardening, or taking care of animals and things like that, and how it's having a profound effect on them. So much so, and I love to give this out because a lot of people don't know, like I didn't know about this until I started going on this journey, that there is a 3% recidivism rate amongst members who go through this program compared to 60% nationwide. So it's something that works.
Is that right?
That's the truth, yeah.
Give people a little bit of hope and a connection to one another.
Yeah, but also I like to say the film is actually really funny too, which no one would ever believe when you think, oh, it's about like inmates. You're like, it's actually really funny. These guys are doing some. First of all, we have a whole crazy play musical that we're doing in it.
Is that and that's based on? There's some little clips at the end.
It's based on a real. It's called Breaking the Mummy's Code. And you have everything in there from mummies and Freddy Krueger and what. So you got these grown men putting on a play. And watching them in their antics and rolling around on the floor and being silly. But also it brings out these really warm feelings. I feel like I know anyone that I know who's watched it, they're very surprised because they go in thinking it's going to be one thing. And they walk out filled with so much hope and love for their fellow man. And I think that's what we need right now. We need more warm feelings, right?
We need those warm feelings.
We do.
So you're gonna win an Oscar for this. Do you have your speech written?
No.
No?
No.
What do? You gonna prep one?
No, you can't. I just feel like
you're gonna kill it. You are gonna kill it though if you get up there.
I just think it's in like, I don't know, it's something. I'm a little superstitious about that.
Yeah.
Any award that I've ever won, a lot of times I'm working and I'm not able to be at an award show. Which I always feel like, well, maybe that's good because maybe I don't know, I'm gonna react like a weirdo or something. Or I'm at the awards show and literally my publicist, she literally told me, she said, you didn't expect to win, did you? I said, I don't even think about winning. I just sit and I'm happy to be there. I'm just with a big smile on my face, hugging and kissing on people. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I got to get to the stage and say something. But then I try to trust that I'll be in the moment and I'll try to say something loving. I'll try to say something appealing to the moment. And that's all I can do. But I'm not going to be standing there like, oh, I want to, first thank God. And, I'll thank God on my own. But I feel like, you know what I mean? That's personal. I'm not judging people who do that. But I'm just saying that, like, things got really dark here. No, I think it's important, but that's private for me. For me, I think I like to have those private conversations, and I'll say something to appeal to the moment. But I think, like, I'll thank you afterwards.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate that. It would mean more on stage. I will say, another fun thing, though.
I mean, just saying.
Structurally, it'd be nice for my family to see it as well.
Okay. Note taken.
Note taken? Good. You're a co-chair of the upcoming Met Gala?
Yes.
So that's...
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, does that add pressure? Like now, can you even go to the store anymore without thinking about, like, you need to dress?
What I look like? No. Yeah, I do have to. I actually, because I'm such a... I thought for a long time nobody would recognize this face. But now they recognize it everywhere. And so I have to dress for it as well, because I've sort of... Me and my stylist have been sort of slaying the game when it comes to the face. It's cool. I mean... It's fun to dress, and I want to get more guys to dress. You said you wore that blue suit for me.
I did.
Right?
I 100% did, because people are like, oh, Colman Domingo's coming on there. He's going to look fantastic.
Yeah, get that blue suit out.
They're like, get the blue suit. No, get the extra blue suit out.
Good.
Yeah, this is me pushing boundaries here.
It's great, man. But also I think that that's what it's all about, and I love the idea that this Met Gala is going to be centered on tailoring towards the black dandy, which is interesting. So it's honoring black men's style throughout history.
Yeah. And
literally, I just had a meeting at the Costume Institute, and I was blown away in an extraordinary way because it's really looking at tailoring. There's so much more to it than one would even imagine. But it's historical. It's also how people define themselves and redefine themselves. and then how they show up in the world. And I feel like I know as a black man in the world, I know that the way I show up. I mean, look at all these the basketballers and stuff like that. Everybody's stunting now when they come out because they're telling a story and they're showing how they define themselves and redefine themselves regardless of the way the world may perceive them. They're like, no, and you do that with style. So what I'm telling you all is, get a good sense of style.
Thank you. Work on it. I'm going to work on my style.
Yeah.
And thank you for the film. It truly is a wonderful piece of art. And if you have even just a little shout out from that stage, just like a quick thank you, Jordan, it'll go a long way. How
about a Carol Burnett?
One of these Carol Burnett's?
I'll do that.
I'll take it. I'll 100% take it. Sing Sing is available to watch at home on all